Hello there.
Hello, everybody. What is up? Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. Hope you are having a great end of your week. Hope you have had a great week. Happy Friday. Happy start to the weekend. Thank you guys for being with us here tonight. Cantina Social Hour. Really appreciate you guys hanging out, spending your Friday nights with us here in the Cantina. Hope everybody is doing very well. All right, we got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Always is, right? Always is, I hope. Hope I'm not going to bore you too much tonight. If I torture you, then sorry. What's going on, you guys? Who's in here tonight? I'm curious to see who is in with us this evening. Michael, how is it going? Good to see you. And I see your question after that. I will come back to that. Dodgson, how are you doing? Good to see you. Pico B1, how is it going? Welcome, welcome. Paul, how's it going? Good to see you, Paul. Ian, how you doing? Nearly 3 a.m. on Star Wars Day there. Wow, 3 a.m. Thank you for being with us at 3 a.m. I hope you're not staying up late just to watch this. But if you are, thank you. We appreciate you very much. Tim, how's it going? Tim, good to see you. Adam, how's it going? Adam, hope you are doing well. Nice little crowd building. Trevor, how is it going? Isam, how are you doing? Nice. I love seeing my friends in here having conversations. That is awesome. Bat Force, Grump, how are you doing? Love the hashtag. Mary, how's it going? Mary, how are you doing? Good to see you, Mary, as always. Marcus, how are you doing, Marcus? Thank you for joining us. Fatmatic, how's it going? Fatmatic. All right, so we're off to a good start. Good little crowd with us tonight. We got a heck of a lot to cover. We got a brand new guest making her debut in the Cantina for the very first time. And she'll be with us for like maybe the first half-ish of the show. We'll see how things go. But basically, just to give you guys a heads up of what we're going to be talking about, I'm going to kind of run through it what we got. So we're going to talk briefly Jurassic World leaks. I say leaks and not announcements because, as you know, Mattel doesn't make announcements. They just let things leak, and then they try to pull the leaks once they happen. I don't know. We've got The Bad Batch. This was the season or series finale, rather. We're going to talk about that. We've got Hot Toys reveals for this week and last week, because if you recall, we didn't get to them last week because we were too busy talking about other things. We have the Hasbro Fan Pulse. Let me restate that. Hasbro Pulse fan stream. That was today. We're going to talk about that. The HasLab is delayed. You guys know this. The HasLab is delayed. We're going to talk about that. And then at the very end of this, I have a sneak preview for you guys of my next video that is currently in production. And yeah, just kind of a little exclusive Cantina Social Hour preview of that. So really quickly to remind you guys that we do have the May the 4th live stream tomorrow. So I hope that you will be able to make it for that. It's going to be fun. We got Tim from Bosk's Bounty, Chris from banthaschool.com. We've got John Miko from the SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group. It's going to be a good time. So that's going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. It is our May the 4th live stream. And we're really, really at that point going to break down these Hasbro Pulse reveals and talk about the HasLab being delayed. Of course, as you know, we were supposed to talk about reacting to the HasLab, but now that it's delayed, we're still going to do the stream. We're not going to leave you guys hanging. So be here for that because it is going to be a good time. All right. Cool. So making her debut in the Cantina for the very first time. Please don't scare her off. Yoko McCann, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing very well, thank you. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes. I always enjoy entering a cantina.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's quite like, we had been trying to plan this for a bit, and I'm glad we were able to do it for, May the 3rd, Star Wars Day Eve.
Like Prime Week. Yeah. I feel like I got a really, really nice spot here.
For sure. So yeah, welcome. Thanks for being here. And yeah, we're gonna hopefully nobody scares you away.
I think, some of the streams I've done, it would take a lot to scare me away.
Right on.
Last night included. Yeah. So
awesome. And I see a few other friends popping in here. Capitan, how are you doing? Good to see you again. Marcus, how's it going? JJ, how are you? Kayla, how's it going? Good to see you, Kayla. Thank you for that. Awesome. Jason, how's it going? I saw you went to Disneyland, Jason. I saw that you went to Disney. Awesome. Cool. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and get things going with our very first topic. And this is going to be a short one, but I do want to touch on it because it's kind of, it was just kind of like today and yesterday, I guess, that this was making the rounds. But basically, like I said earlier, Mattel doesn't announce anything. They just let things leak, and then they get mad when things leak. So I always say, Mattel oftentimes seems like they are being run by the Barbie movie Mattel CEO board. So here's what we have. This is from Collect Jurassic, Tim over at Collect Jurassic. Couple of new images that popped up from Amazon Japan, which oftentimes that's where these come from because they, there's, I don't know, they just do. So Pyroraptor, this is for the Hammond collection. This is a brand new sculpt. Hammond collection being the more collector-oriented line. And yeah, that's basically what we have here. It's pretty nice looking. It's way more impressive than the one that they made a couple years back when the film came out. It looks pretty good. Maybe could use a little more paint weathering or, paint washes over it, but it looks nice. The other one is Velociraptor Delta. Also, images coming from Amazon Japan. And it's a very nice looking figure. They've kind of done a few revisions. It seems like the hands look different. The feet look a little bit smaller. And the head is a brand new sculpt with more, with better looking teeth. So that is nice to see that they're revising, but it is going to be a little challenging because they're barely just releasing Velociraptor Blue without these revisions. So it's kind of annoying that one of them is not going to really fit the others. But like I said, Mattel's going to Mattel on us. And that's basically all I have for Mattel Jurassic. So like I said, short and sweet. Yoko, are you into collecting dinosaurs?
I'm not, unfortunately. I haven't even seen the last couple movies. I hope that doesn't kick me out of the cantina. But I enjoy the original Jurassic Park a lot,
Cool. Yeah, no, it's nice to see that they're continuing because this is the more collector-oriented line, which you look at some of them and you're like, really? But these ones actually look pretty decent. So.
Yeah.
Regarding the Jurassic, I see a couple comments. Pico B1, have they had a packaging refresh for Jurassic? Not for the Hammond collection. No, they have not. Still the same. Marcus says, I love the Pyraptor design from the movie. It is a pretty, it's an interesting design for sure. Yeah, ain't it so, Kayla, for sure. They're interesting. We'll just leave it at that. Interesting. Mechanized, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, so our next point of interest here. Let's talk about some hot toys, because there are a lot of hot toys that were announced this week and within the last week. And for whatever reason, last week the show just ran long. I didn't get a chance, and I was by myself, so go figure. I was probably talking about all kinds of other rambling about all other manner of things. But yeah, so Hot Toys is coming out with a bunch of Star Wars dark side targeted characters. They're kind of celebrating the dark side. So everything that they've been announcing the past couple of weeks is basically like dark side, Sith, Empire, all that kind of stuff. So we'll start off with the very first one, and that is, it's kind of a big one. It's probably the biggest one that they've announced in the last couple of weeks, and that is Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. Yoko, are you collecting hot toys on any level?
I do collect hot toys, and these days that's kind of what I've been focusing on, which is why I kind of cut back on a lot of other lines to make to keep space for hot toys. But I'm still pretty choosy about which characters I get. I think Darth Revan looks amazing, but I've never even played this game, so I think it's a really cool one for fans to pick up, but not for me personally.
Yeah, it's one that I kind of waffled on myself. I mean, I have so many Hot Toys tabs open, having a hard time finding out where this one is. Yeah, I did play this game back when it came out, but I never quite. I think it's a really cool character. I think when you play that game and just the way that it goes, it leaves you in a really cool space, like a headspace for sure. And then they've kind of built on this character a little bit, not a ton. As time has gone on, there was a novel, there were some comics. He's referred to in Knights of the Republic 2. But there hasn't been a whole lot about Revan, but it's a character that a lot of people have latched onto. Even though he's still kind of mysterious, and it's even marked here as Legends. But I think it's definitely a nice one. I know this one was, and I think still is as of this week, the best selling. If you look at the Hot Toys site, it is the best selling figure overall out of all Hot Toys, not just Star Wars. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. The outfit is nice. He looks a little bit hefty, and I think I don't really mind that per se, because he's armored up, right? He's going to be a little more bulky. We don't want him to be too scrawny. So, I mean, he definitely looks formidable in these pictures. I dig that he comes with both lightsabers. He also has the swooshy effects.
And they're LED, right? I think.
Yeah, yes, and they've done away with the batteries for the most part, and now they're coming with LEDs on.
That's really cool. I like that improvement for other releases in the future.
Yeah, any innovation, especially given what these cost, is appreciated with this stuff. Yeah, I like this looks great. It says here metallic copper paint applications, really nicely done, very battle worn looking. And then if you buy the special edition, which you should if you pre-order this on their site, it costs the same and you get those coins. So definitely, if you like Darth Revan, then definitely something to look at. Speaking of Hot Toys, Yoko, you were in Japan recently, weren't you?
I was, yeah, last month.
Did you make it to Toy Sapiens?
I did.
Yes.
Really cool. I couldn't believe I didn't buy a single thing though. That was a store I walked in and I was like, all right, I'm ready to spend some money. And I don't know. I feel like I already had the things that I would have bought, Especially because, there are things I might have waited to buy if I knew I was going there. But for as far as like international travel goes, it was kind of a last minute decision for me to go. I think I booked my flight like 3 weeks before I went. So, it was exciting though. It was exciting to see them all in one place. And I love the Cos Baby and Cosby lines too. And just to see them all like that, because we don't have those here, right? So it was fun to see those, but like I had already bought all the ones I would have wanted. So it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too. So when I went in October, I didn't buy anything either, and I was like, how can I not buy something? But at the same time, like, I mean, you think about the size of a Hot Toys box, and you think about, I still got to fly back, and that's going to be a hassle to carry around and stuff. So, but yeah, that store is awesome, and I always recommend like if anybody's going to go over there, make sure you go to Toy Sapiens because it is so cool. All right, so that is Darth Revan, another dark side oriented character that they unveiled last week. All right, here we got Lord Starkiller. And by the way, this is a limited time release, so it does say that there's two days and 13 hours. If you want the exclusive, if you just want the regular collector edition, there's no time limit on it. But this one comes from The Force Unleashed. I don't think it's any secret at this point. Starkiller was a clone. Once you play that second game, there's a bunch of him. And this is one of the this was a take on him from the first game. Like if he, stayed dark side, and I think like part of the as I recall, like a lot of the metal that you see on his body is because he somehow became embedded with like a Star Destroyer or something. I don't even remember the details of it anymore, but like he got into like an accident and his body became melded with like Star Destroyer parts, something like that. So he's scary looking. And I mean, this isn't one that I was particularly, excited for. I mean, I did not pre-order this one. But it's cool that they are kind of digging a little more deeply into, this dark side aspect of Star Wars and pulling from Legends and doing stuff that, people are interested in because it is one of the higher selling figures currently. And it looks really good. Not for me, but definitely one that they obviously put a lot of work into because there's a lot of really nice detail that is very apparent on his outfit, on the tailoring and everything. So he's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Another really cool design, but not for me either.
Yeah, the Edward Scissorhands are kind of, it is creepy. Yeah, if you see it at the back, you can see like that, like his spine is like connected to this thing. Like I'm trying to remember the details, but I can't quite because it's been so long. But yeah, he's neat. He is neat. In addition to that, like I said, there were a bunch. We also have 000 from the Dr. Aphra series. This one was one that was kind of a blender. It's a cool release, but it was one of those things where they announce it, like Hot Toys announces it. Sideshow's going to carry it. You go to their website and it says join the RSVP list, and you get an email when it's like they notify you when it's time to buy. The thing is, they literally send the email out and said, okay, it's up, go join the queue. And it's like a lot of people aren't necessarily glued to their phones waiting for that email to come in at some random time. And it went to waitlist pretty quickly. It wasn't a great experience for a lot of folks. But it's a nice looking thing. It's an easy one for them to do because they've done C-3PO. So they're just adapting that sculpt. And obviously the hands here are new. They're different. He's got all the torture tools embedded into his hands. So it's a nice one. If you're really into like murderous torture droids. But yeah, for a lot of folks, it wasn't necessarily handled very well. And I guess what's weird about that is that BT1 is kind of, you kind of need both of them. and 000 was that limited exclusive, whereas the other figure was not. So it was just kind of strange that they did that.
It is a strange decision to do that when most people would find them as a pair. I have to say, I got lucky and I was able to buy 000.
Nice.
And I mean, and I was honestly like, I almost feel bad because I was on the fence about it. I love Dr. Aphra, right? So that's why I was like, I was on the fence because I was like, well, I wouldn't hesitate to buy Dr. Aphra, right? So I'm hoping this is a sign that she will be coming too. And I was just like, well, I don't want to, have her come and then wish I had these. So I was like, all right, I'll leave it up to fate. I'll try to get 000. And then if I don't get him, then I don't need either of them. But then I got him. So
that's awesome.
Now I have to get BD1 too.
Yeah, now you do.
Not BD1, BT1?
BT1.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, congrats. That's a really good
yeah. So
that's a win.
I guess I gotta get them both now.
You gotta get them both. Yeah, no, it looks really nice. It definitely looks really nice. I didn't, and I wouldn't have gone in on this one myself, but I do appreciate how cool it is. Nonetheless, I just wish that they found a better way to do that. And the same thing happened.
There was no notice, right? It was like the night before, and it was like, by the way, this will be super limited. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't know how they rationalize what's going to be limited and what's not. I mean, there must be some method to the madness, but obviously we're not privy to whatever that thinking is.
It would have been nice if there was some kind of like 2-pack probably, because I feel like people would
that probably would have been ideal.
And him selling out is going to hurt BT1 sales, I would think. So
yeah, that would make sense for sure. So as far as BT1 goes, that is still available. You can still get BT1. There he is. And yeah, I mean, same thing. They're adapting a pre-existing figure, which is R2-D2, and they're making some tweaks, new head, new accessories. It actually looks really cool. I love the finish on this. Like it almost has kind of like a sort of like iridescent sort of quality. Like if you look at it from some angles, it's black. Others, when the light hits it, it's blue. That's pretty cool. And the sculpting and all the additions that they added on there are really nicely done. It's a cool looking figure. Yeah.
Who doesn't need some murder bots,
I know. I mean, we all need those, right? And it's cool that you can take off all those accessories. You can just have him like this in his basic form. Yeah, it's a nice one.
He needs to be ready to murder at all times.
I mean, you never know when you're going to have to unload one of these droids on somebody, so anything can happen. So that's BT1 here, and my finger is in a lot of pain right now. And I was telling you, Yoko, I'll tell everybody else, my dog bit me. My dog stole a napkin I had in my hand and took, almost took my finger with her. So anyway, she's asleep now under the desk right here. So she's still, I don't know, maybe she's trying to be make up for it now. Let's see, what else do we got here? All right, so is that all from last week from Hot Toys? No, because there was a Commander Cody, a Chrome version, right? So I mean, I don't know who's into Chrome, but like Chrome clones, I mean, that aren't really screen accurate, but surely somebody out there is into Chrome clones. So yeah, Commander Cody, totally chromed out, and he comes with alternate heads, phase 1, phase 2. He's got a base. I mean, he's Chrome. I don't really know what else to say to that.
And just imagine the fingerprints, right?
Yeah, that probably have to handle it with like those gloves I see some Hot Toys reviewers wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat, I guess. It's not for me. I'd rather have just like an actual screen accurate one, but
yeah, I agree. Like I could see it being a cool centerpiece for some collector, but
yeah. And this one says almost sold out. Pre-orders $260, limit of 1 per person. So some people are buying it, obviously. So if they're happy with it, awesome. That's all that matters. And there was, I think, one more from last week, and that was that is the Stormtrooper. This is a re-release. This was released under the Return of the Jedi banner a few years back, and I purchased it back then. It was my first Stormtrooper from Hot Toys, and it's really nice. Like, the base is really cool. The only thing I don't like about the base is, like, if you have these like in DTOFs like I do, like, to turn it on, you have to like put your hand way behind it and like turn it on. And if you have other figures in there, it's very cumbersome. I almost never have it on because of that. But hey, this is a smart re-release, because, you know, people always need and want Stormtroopers, right? So what better way to get Stormtroopers out than come out with an OG Stormtrooper with a light up Death Star panel wall. Yeah, you want to army build these if you need extras. And I do love how they made them left-handed here. Like, that's a good thing that they did, because they paid attention. And yeah, it's basically the same exact figure from before. So I mean, it doesn't seem like anything's new. I will say that on mine, the holster has a magnet on it that's supposed to keep it closed when you have the gun in there. The magnet fell off at some point. I think I have the magnet, but it did fall off, and so yeah, I never super glued it back on. So I don't know if this new one's going to have that issue or not, but I know it happened to other folks too. But yeah, $240, not too bad. And this one you don't have to wait a long time for, because it does say that it ships between June and September. Not bad, pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, so now we're moving into next week. So to this week. So Yoko, you know how I was saying, like, you know, silver clone troopers, not a whole lot to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have golden clone trooper.
Right. How do we top silver? With gold.
With gold. What will they think of next? Bronze stormtrooper,
Yeah.
Copper clone trooper. Who knows?
Blinged
Only
out.
Hot Toys knows.
Yeah.
Interchangeable helmet. So yeah, you could buy 2, and then you could have one with the phase 1 helmet and one with the phase 2 helmet, and then you could put him next to C-3PO, and it'll look like his personal guard, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else you could do with them, but yeah, somebody out there wants them, and that's fine. That's fine. So this is $260, limit 1 per person, so they're not making a ton of them. And then, okay, so here's where we start getting into some of the really cool ones. Revan was really cool, but here's some other really cool ones. Today they went up a pre-order, I think early this morning. Darth Maul 2.0. This is a cool one. So they did Darth Maul a few years back, and he was a really nice figure, but I know a lot of people never felt like the head was completely like nailed. Mm-hmm. This time they've gone back to the drawing board, and I like that they actually put a comparison photo here of the before and after. On the left is the DX16 and 17, which has the previous head sculpt, and on the right is the new version, which has the revised head sculpt. And I think it's pretty self-apparent just by looking at them that, you know, the newer version looks a little more accurate. Yeah, the last one wasn't bad, but, you know, this is an improvement. Yeah, he looks cool. And a lot of people missed out on that first Darth Maul. If you weren't collecting at the time, or, you know, whatever, you can get Darth Maul again. So don't sleep on Darth Maul. I mean, this is kind of one that I feel like if you're collecting these, you kind of need to have a Darth Maul. And this would be the one to get, especially if you missed out on that first version. You could do him double-bladed saber. You can have him with the desert cape and hood on. You got the interchangeable heads, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, just like he looks really good. I hope that the final product looks
good.
This crisp. Yeah, it looks like a real picture. I have the previous version, but I'm not going to keep it for very long, because now I'm going to get this one.
I am very tempted. I don't really collect baddies, but I like Maul a lot as a character. So I do have some a little mall section over there in my on a shelf. So I'm gonna be thinking about this one because it does look good, and he's fun, you know.
Yeah, he's mall.
Mhm.
So this one does have 4 variations. This is the special edition that comes with a coin. You got 20 days to pre-order. If you want the collector edition, it doesn't come with the coin, but it costs the same. So I mean, go for the special edition. There's also one that comes with a speeder. It's a little more expensive. It's $285 versus $405. And the same thing, you can get this for the same price. You can get it with the coin if you buy in the next 20 days. The speeder is cool. But when it comes to Hot Toys, like any kind of accessories or like really big bases and things like that take up a lot of space. So I tend to just go for the normal versions most of the time, unless it's like something like special. But yeah, it is cool that they're bringing back both versions so that, it's not just, you have options. Options are good. So that is Darth Maul. There was another one that went up this morning for pre-order. And that one was this right here. That is the Shadow Trooper, the Shadow Stormtrooper. So, you're getting the re-release, the white normal trooper with the Death Star wall, but you can also get the black version that comes with the red lit Death Star panel wall, which is cool. And it costs the same, exactly the same price. There's no upcharge to get this version. Comes with the same exact accessories as the other version. Just the walls red now, the lights, and the figure is painted black. So
I didn't realize those panel walls light up. That's cool.
Yeah, it is neat. Yeah, I really liked seeing this one. They're not in any of the films, but I mean, there are like comics and stuff where they appear. So I definitely was interested in this one here. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's basically just a black. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's a black stormtrooper, but it looks like it does have some like light scuffing and weathering on it. And the lenses look like they're like a silvery color, so it's nice. And you do have the pauldron, which I think you can just play it with or without, just depending on how you want to set it up. So it's nice to have that add in, because the other version, the white one, doesn't come with that pauldron. So it's nice that they threw that in for the same price. What else do we got? We have also, we're almost done with Hot Toys, but we got one more. All right, and that is Luke Skywalker from Dark Empire. So this one was kind of like unexpected. This one was just one that they said, oh, hey, by the way, we're making this too. This is Luke in his basically from Dark Empire. He's got the more Darth Vader inspired outfit. Now, this was one of those like, another one of those like 000 where you signed. It came up this morning. Like I got the email that. So I went to the sideshow site, and I saw, okay, it says RSVP here. Okay. I wasn't, particularly wanting to get the artisan version, but I wanted to see how it played out. So I went on there, I did the RSVP, and then I think it was like within a couple of hours, it was actually like up for sale. So they sent out an email saying, oh, it's up, go get it. But then when you go to the site, there's there's a queue, a virtual queue you got to go into. And there were thousands of people in the queue. And I'm at work. I don't see these emails coming in like when they come in. So I tried out of curiosity just to go and see what the situation was. And it said you have a 45-minute wait, and there's like 1,406 people in front of you, something like that. So I was like, well, I just wanted to see how it was going to play out. But I wish they would figure that out a little bit better, because not everybody's gonna be able to see those emails come in. If it's something you really, really want, I think that Artisan Anakin they did a good job with, because they said, oh, it's gonna be coming out on this day at this time, and that's what they did, right? But like with this, it's just kind of like, oh, here it is. Hopefully you're glued to your phone so you don't miss it.
Right.
So yeah, obviously it went to waitlist pretty quickly. The Artisan version, anyway. There's 3 versions of this. The Artisan is $430, and that one is on wait list. But for $280, you can get the special edition with the coins if you buy it within the next 20 days, or you can get the regular collector edition right here. So, I mean, basically, as far as I can tell, I haven't even read the listings yet on this, but the hair seems to be like the wool implantation that they call it. I don't know that the execution is perfect based on these photos. Yoko, what do you think?
No, I was trying to figure out what was different between the two editions. So I see now that it's the hair, but he looks like a nice young man here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not like 100% sold on the likeness. They've done some really good like Luke likenesses before,
Yeah,
but
no.
this one definitely looks like it doesn't. It looks like a really good cosplayer to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the Darth Vader inspired suit's really cool. That it's nice. Like I said, that dark side theme that they're really playing up lately. It's a good looking figure. It really is. I don't know that I'm going to go in on the regular edition. It's not really something that I had like on my, list of things that I was hoping they would make, but I'm happy for whoever else is interested in it.
Yeah, his face looks better in some shots than others, huh?
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is definitely like the most emo looking Luke Skywalker though that I've seen.
Quite emo.
Yeah. He's fun though. Like I kind of feel like I might get him. Like I wasn't planning to, but it's just like he's fun.
Yeah, I had totally missed this announcement, but that is cool.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I got to get it. And sometimes I'm like, no, thinking about it, but I'm not. I need to get a moderator for this chat. Sorry guys, let me go ahead and take care of that real quick. All right, done. Cool. So that is all of the Hot Toys. So what do we have next on our list here? I guess I should ask you, Yoko, before it gets to later. So like we were saying a little while ago, you recently went to Japan, and I love talking about that topic because I really love going. But do you want to tell us just generally like what kind of a time you had on this most recent visit?
Oh yeah, and I was realized somebody mentioned it in the chat too, but we didn't put Star Wars Celebration on the list of topics if that was something you wanted to talk about at all. But but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. My mom, I still have family in Japan. My mom's from Japan, and she goes back. I have a 105-year-old grandmother, and so who's like in like really good health. She just finally is starting to get like in-home care a couple times a week, at 105 years old. So it's amazing.
It's amazing.
My mom goes back and stays with her for 2 or 3 months at a time, a couple times during the year. So my mom was already there, and I was like, it's a little bit of a slow time at work before we start going to cons and everything, and I should just do it. I should just go because I haven't been since my last trip where there was 2018, so it had been a minute. So I was like, I'm just gonna go. So I went, spent some time with my mom and saw my grandma too. But then I was doing some exploring on my own too, which was a different experience, right? To be out there navigating by yourself. And I can speak Japanese, but it's not perfect by any means, but enough for me to get around. They know that I'm not a local, but but it was fun. It was a different kind of challenge to do that, and it was fun. But yeah, I did some toy shopping or toy browsing mostly. Again, I didn't buy a lot of stuff, but it was really cool. I went to Disneyland for a day, went to the Ghibli Museum, some other things that I love outside of Star Wars. But yeah, I can't wait to go back next year for Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time. It's just a really awesome place to visit. My grandfather was in the Korean War in the 50s, and he was stationed in Tokyo for a while, and then he got sent to Korea, and he was like literally like there on the border, like front lines and all that. But he always had stories that he used to tell me about, like when I was a kid, and he was still around, about like, oh yeah, Mount Fuji, I got to go to it, and like all these different like stories. So like when I've gone, like I always like think about like, oh, that's pretty cool. He was here, now I'm getting to see it. But yeah, and yeah, Star Wars Celebration Japan. Tickets are on sale, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they went up last night. And I think there's still like single days available from what I saw.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and you are planning to attend?
I am, yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, no, that's cool. I love that they're expanding the different locations for celebration. That is fantastic. That's a great place to have it. I think I talked to you about this before. Like, that's, for me personally, I'd love to go. I was seriously considering it, but that's just kind of a hard time. Like, as an educator, like to just, just the time that it's at. If it were like during the summer, or if it were like, spring break, something like that, it would work. But kind of hard to go on a trip like that, like in the middle of the,
because you
especially
can't
during
just
like
go for celebration too, right? It's not like a weekend getaway.
right, and it's like testing season and all, so it's kind of a hard time. But yeah, no, that's awesome. So definitely, if anybody can make it, if you can, if it's something you want to do, it's a great opportunity to use that to get over there. I think somebody messaged the Fetmatic. That's who it was. SHF. Fetmatic, can you send me the link on Instagram, please, if you don't mind? I looked for it real quick a minute ago and I didn't see it. But if you can send that to me, I'll definitely feature that on here. I took a look and I couldn't find. I did see it earlier, but I didn't save it or anything. Thank you for reminding me about that. Yeah. So where are we at? We are at. Let's talk some Bad Batch. So it's over. It's over after all these. How many years has it been? Like 3 years?
Yeah, 3 seasons. Probably been. Has it been 3 years? Maybe it's been 4 years. I don't know.
21 was it? I don't even know anymore. But yeah, it's always like an interesting thing, like when a series ends, especially like an animated series, because you think of the Clone Wars, you think of Rebels, and when they end, it's kind of like, well, it's something you've invested yourself into for a number of years, and when it's Star Wars, like, it's especially like important to you, right? And you're thinking about it, and you're talking about it on streams, and you're collecting the merchandise, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, that's it.
Right. And they've had such epic finales too. Those shows. It was a lot for Bad Batch to live up to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to recap the entire episode, but how are your general feelings towards the way that this particular story, this particular corner of the Star Wars universe ended?
I'm kind of still processing it, because I thought for sure it was going to end a certain way, and it did not end the way that I thought. Like, I thought it was going to be sad. I thought everybody was, I essentially thought everyone was going to die. And like, it was a happy ending, and that should make me happy. But right now I'm confused, because it's like, how did they turn this into a happy ending? And so I'm a little bit torn. I'm like, does it seem realistic? That it would, like, they all live happily ever after.
Right.
But I'm also like, I also feel like I shouldn't be mad at that. Because it leaves the door open for more stories too, So
yeah, that's true. I kind of had similar sentiments. I mean, after what happened with Tech in the previous season, it's like, okay, well, they're obviously willing to take risks and do things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So I also thought it was going to be a little bit darker. I mean, this whole season has been more of like a more mature, darker tone. So I really thought, I didn't think everybody was going to die, because a lot of people were saying, oh, they're all going to die. And I never thought that was going to happen, but I didn't also think they were all going to live. So, yeah.
I'm glad they left the Tech death alone, like, I think.
Yes.
I was surprised, but I'm glad about that also. That there was no, zombie Tech reveal. Not zombie, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, same here. Yeah, because there were people speculating that he survived, and I mean, I know they do that sometimes, but I always feel like it kind of cheapens like their death, or in this case, Tech sacrificed himself, right? Like, so I mean, why take that from him? But yeah, I mean, I thought for sure we were gonna maybe lose Wrecker or Hunter or Crosshair or somebody, but they all made it out alive. It was a very safe ending. It was very it wasn't. It was very safe. It wasn't anything too like controversial or.
Right.
It was fine.
Adam's right. There were a lot of deaths, but just not out of our core group of heroes.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. No, a lot of bad guys died for sure.
Yeah. Now I'll say that was a little sad, you know.
That was
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah.
That was very sad. But
But also, like I felt good for her, like being able to take Rampart out with her, you know.
yeah, she kind of went out on her own
Yeah.
terms, so
Yeah.
I was cool with that. Because she was gonna, I think she was planning to do what she did anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was I will say I was a little surprised with Rampart. I thought they were gonna kind of keep him more.
Yeah. No.
I thought they were gonna keep him like.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't good per se, but keep
Mhm.
him more like not bad anymore. But
Yeah.
um, that's fine. There's not a whole lot of use, I guess, for a character like that later. Yeah, I mean, it did end very safe. I think that they closed up the story they began telling last season with regards to, you know, the cloning and all that stuff. The project Necromancer, and that was another thing that was interesting to me was how they decided to just kind of like put a cap on that, like.
Mhm.
When it was unveiled at the beginning of the season, it was like, oh, okay, so that's what the focus is here. That's how Palpatine's going to come back later on, right? But no, this it was pretty evident that this project completely failed and everything got lost, right?
Which makes sense why they're kind of starting over with it again, or with Moff Gideon, right? In
Yeah,
in what we see now on Mandalorian.
right,
So,
right. And how I guess in Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine was what he was, right? Like an
right.
imperfect, falling apart
Mhm.
clone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I guess now when you think about it, it's like, oh well, if that base hadn't gotten wiped out and they continued with it, maybe he would have been just like he would have come back normal. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought we were gonna get a little more Palpatine. I thought he was gonna come back in some capacity, but he didn't. It was just in that first episode of the season. That was it.
Right.
Um,
But there's like 3 different shows at least, right, that could spin out of this, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if they give us some more animated series, one way or another.
yeah, that's true, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what they did with Ahsoka. That's kind of what, or
Mhm.
with Rebels rather. So I mean, it kind of just leaves open the door for further adventures to happen. Which I guess is a good thing because you never know, right? I mean, when we saw the very end of Rebels when that ended, I mean, I don't know that anybody really thought we are gonna get live action version of that. Um, so maybe something like that could happen down the road with
Yeah.
Bad Batch. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a Ventress series, right? I know that's been rumored or semi-confirmed that there's something with her, right? We don't know what, but I keep calling it over on Boba Squadron, The Adventures of Captain Rex and Friends. But like I feel like that could be like there could be a whole other series with the clones, right? That are remaining friends.
Yeah.
And then obviously with what they set up with Omega, like that could be another show right there. So
Mhm. Yeah, what did you think about that, like, a flash forward scene at the end of the
yeah,
episode?
yeah, I excuse me, I thought it was nice, but I think that is, to me, it feels like a hint that like we could see her worked into other stories or have her show up in live action down the line or something too. If that timing matches up with what we're seeing in Mandoverse, Filoniverse. Um, but it was nice to see because again, just to get a little glimpse of the future. I didn't think about her not mentioning Echo, but I feel like to me it was like those guys stayed together, Wrecker, Crosshair, and Hunter, but maybe Echo was still with Captain Rex and Friends Adventures. That's canon in my head. So he just wasn't part of the group at that point anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see a Ventress show, though. That I hadn't heard about that myself, but that sounds pretty rad. Cool.
That's in my head. Yeah.
Nice. I do wanna go over to the chat for just a minute and see what folks are
Yeah.
saying. Um All right, let's see here. Oops. So yeah, it sounds like in general, folks enjoyed the Bad Batch. Adam says, I needed at least a somewhat happy ending, and they did not disappoint. Yeah, that is true. Paul, it was safe. Marcus, I haven't seen the season, but this makes me hope we'll see some more stories involving the Bad Batch. For sure. Trevor says, some have a theory that Echo died at some point because Omega didn't mention him to old Hunter. I didn't catch that, but or I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, I guess that's a possibility. But she didn't mention Rex either, did she?
I don't think so.
And we know from Rebels that he did serve in the Battle of Endor, so Echo could still be out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this would be cool. DH Tamara Morrison for Hunter Record. That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool to see him. I mean, what if they had like more than what if it was not like both of them or like Crosshair too? Like how would they do that? Like how would you'd have to film him like 3 times over
Yeah.
playing each of those and then merge them together. That'd be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I do hope we see them somewhere.
Where can I get the Ahsoka 4-pack? We will talk about that when we get to the Hasbro portion. All right, I don't have much else to add about Bad Batch other than I think it was for the most part. I think season 3 was probably the strongest season of all. It wasn't perfect by any means, but definitely added a good little bit to the Star Wars lore, and then it kind of took it away to some extent at the very end. Yeah, it was entertaining. It's great to have Star Wars to look forward to each week. That's probably my favorite thing, honestly, with any of these shows. The live action, the animated, is that I get to see something new each week. Something to look forward to. But yeah, it was fun, and I'm looking forward to whatever they decide to do next in terms of Star Wars animation.
Agreed.
And yeah, tomorrow we get Tales of the Empire.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Are you going to see Phantom Menace?
I am thinking about going to see it tomorrow.
Nice.
I would like to, because I did not see it in theaters the first time around, so I feel like I should,
Yeah, I may. I haven't decided yet. Just finding the time, but I'd love to go see it. I mean, how many times would this be? I guess this would be the 5th time I've seen it in theaters. Yeah, I'd love to. So Yoko, we are coming up on the hour. So would you like to jump to the new acquisitions portion?
I don't really have anything to show though. So yeah, we can like I said, I've got everything on pre-order, I think, the Hot Toys. I'm looking forward to, Sabine, Hera, Chopper, the new Ahsoka Hot Toys. Those are all things I have on pre-order. The Ghost HasLab, right? So that's kind of what that's what I'm saving my space for, is for those things to come in. So I've kind of cut back a little bit.
Right on. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot coming out. And we did get to see the packaging for the Ghost today during the Hasbro Pulse fan stream.
Yeah.
I do have a couple acquisitions I'll share real quick, because I didn't really get that much myself this week. So I'm not collecting the Star Wars Epic Heroes. I promise I'm not. But I did get the Mandalorian for a very specific reason, and it's probably kind of a silly reason, because these are $10. I mean, not super expensive and not super cheap either. I bought him for that Darksaber. That's the only reason I bought this figure, because the vintage collection one has a horrible Darksaber. This one has a nice, like, you can actually see it like from afar, like on the shelf.
Yeah, like it actually looks like it's glowing.
Yeah, they did a good job with this one. The hilt's a little bit big, sure, but that's the reason I bought this figure. The figure itself, nothing too special. It's decent, but I bought it for that Darksaber. Is what I got it for.
Yeah.
The other thing that I added to the collection this week, not Star Wars, but I did get some Jurassic. I got the new Hammond Collection Velociraptor Blue. This went into stock on Target.com last weekend, and through my pal Greg, who may or may not be here in the stream tonight, alerted me to this, that it was in stock. And yeah, Velociraptor Blue is in the house. This is the one that I was saying earlier. Like they engineered so that it's not going to match the next 3 that come out. But what can you do, Mattel? I think that's it. I don't think I've added anything else to the collection this week. So pretty, good for my standards to not bring too much into the house for 1 week. So pat on the back. And yes, as always, what did you guys add to your collections this week? Let me know in the chat so that I can feature what you've gotten. So Adam says, I got the Black Series R46D0 and the Andor and Obi-Wan 4K Steelbooks. Very nice. Those are great pieces to add.
I do want to pick up those Steelbooks.
Me too. I haven't yet, but I definitely want to. Received for R46D earlier tonight, expecting 112 and Kenny Wolverine, SHF Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon Jinn. Awesome. Those are that's a pretty good loot. The SHF Maul is amazing. Like that was the first Figuarts that I ever bought, and I was really happy with it. Hassan, thank you so much. I see here on Instagram that you sent me the link to the Figuart stuff. Thank you for sending that. I'll feature in just a minute. Trevor says added the Count Dooku. Dooku finally arrived. Awesome. TVC version, I'm assuming. Very cool. So let me show. I'll get to the Figuarts in just a second. Mary got 000 today and the last wave of the vintage collection. Awesome. Congrats, Mary. All right, so let me go ahead and show what we're talking about here. The SH Figuarts remakes. Basically what these are, Figuarts is the other company that makes 6-inch Star Wars figures along with Mayfax. Basically they announced today, I don't think I talked about this last week, but they are doing Jar Jar, which is kind of cool. I don't know that I'm going to get Jar Jar, but they are doing Jar Jar, which is great. And they're re-releasing Darth Maul here, this time with the cloak, because the first version did not come with the cloak. So I'm a little envious that mine doesn't have the cloak, because it looks pretty cool here in this picture. Qui-Gon is coming back with the cloak, which is great. Again, the last one was a web exclusive and did not have a cloak, so it was very hard to track down. But today they said, hey, we're not going to stop there. We're going to bring back some of our other greatest hits, and we're going to add further alterations so that you, Victoria, have to buy them again. I know they were thinking about me having to buy them again. So the Stormtrooper is returning. I don't know what's different here. I guess maybe the helmet looks a little different. The lenses also look a little green in this picture. But the figure is just okay. If it's the same body, like the Black Series one is superior. Darth Vader is coming back. I have a very big weakness for anything Anakin, anything Vader, so I may have to get this again because it does look better this time. I mean, especially the helmet. I love how they kind of painted it a little bit more matte looking so that it kind of fits A New Hope more. C-3PO is coming back. This is a good one because it is very expensive to get the initial release these days. And it looks like it's painted a little bit differently, or cast a little bit differently. It's not painted, it's cast in like a very nice like metal die cast. And then R2-D2 is coming back as well. This time it has a clean finish. Last time it had a dirtied up, like worn sort of aesthetic. This time it's just perfectly clean, like the very end of A New Hope, basically. Yeah, and if you look at the very bottom, you can see the little rubber boots in there, which on the first release, those are removable, but that's actually not something you see on a lot of Star Wars collectibles. Those little rubber boots are where Kenny Baker used to put his feet. So it's kind of cool that Figuarts has maintained that like on both releases, because that gets missed a lot. It's not always there in the film, but it is there from time to time. And I think that's all of those that they said, hey, we're bringing these back. So if you missed out on those the first time, guess what? You're in luck. They're coming back and you can buy them, or you can buy them again if you're a sucker like me.
I think I got to get that R2 at least. I'm tempted by a couple.
Yeah,
I don't have any of those. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's you know, it's just, it comes up all the time. It's just like, there's so many things, and I say it every week.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
I just don't know what to do anymore. Cool. How are you doing on time, Yoko?
We're good. We can do let's do at least one more segment here before my voice goes.
Okay. All right. We are going to do, the next thing we have is the Hasbro Pulse fan stream. This took place today. I know a lot of you are waiting for this segment. Hey, Milky Way Skywalker, I just saw you there. How's it going? And Dodgson added some stuff to his collection too. Very nice. Some Jurassic. Ooh. Yeah. So Hasbro Pulse fan stream, they were going to do this initially because of the HasLab, right? That was the big thing they were going to announce today. And that, as we found out on Monday, got delayed until further notice. As far as when it's going to happen, they haven't said. All we know is that it is delayed. I'll be able to speak more to that tomorrow. But I do want to talk about these Hasbro Pulse fan stream reveals, because these are officially released, announced, pipelined products. Yoko, did you get to watch this stream today?
I didn't. That's partly why I want to stick around for this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad you're sticking around for this. Yeah. So I'm going to go over to banthaschool.com. My friends Chris and Brett at Banthaschool, because they have all the images there on their site, very nicely organized. Yeah. So I watched this like kind of as I was driving to work, like, because it happened like early in the morning. Well, for me it was kind of early. So I just kind of had it on, and I was just like listening to it, like play over like the car speakers as I was driving. And I got to go back later and like during my lunch break and just kind of like watch it a little more carefully. But yeah, so there's actually a number of things. Unfortunately, the vintage collection did kind of suffer today because HasLab was supposed to be announced. And instead of really shuffling things around, they pipelined some things, which is cool, but they didn't really show anything. Today, Black Series was the real winner. So I guess we'll start there. There's some really cool stuff though for Black Series. Like, I'm actually kind of intrigued. The first thing right here is a 2-pack from Ahsoka with Captain Enoch and Night Trooper. This is a Walmart exclusive. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see these. These are coming in TVC already, but it is cool to see these, in Black Series. It's a little interesting. Like, I mean, just looking at the package shot, maybe in hand they're going to be different, but they do seem a little bulky. Maybe, I guess that's what I want to say. I mean, even like maybe it looks a little bit better there. I do love the posing. Like, the posing they're doing on these is just the best. Yeah, I mean, they look cool. Like, I love like all the little like gold touches and stuff. And I think they said on the stream that like they actually sculpted the like the red ribbons into the sculpt. So it's not just like painted on. They actually sculpted those pieces on there. So yeah, that's pretty neat. This one for me was probably, for me, obviously, it was more exciting, like seeing Darth Sidious from Revenge of the Sith. I'm glad that they're kind of focusing more on that film, because we haven't seen a whole lot from Black Series from that movie. Yeah, and he looks quite great, to be honest. Like, I love the face sculpt on this. Like, they just did a really, like, he looks very sinister. He looks, he looks scary, and that's how you should look. The tailoring looks great. He's got the red saber. He's got the Force lightning. Like, that is a great inclusion, because they often don't really include a lot in these, single pack Black Series. So they loaded him up. He's got soft goods. Like, he's a really good looking figure. I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up, to be honest, because he looks great. Yeah, he looks really great. The other thing was, okay, so there's this 3-pack that is going to feature reissues of Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. They said that there's some revisions. I guess they're updated to some extent, maybe the paint applications. And also they have cloaks on because they didn't have those before. But they said Darth Maul is a brand new sculpt. That's pretty exciting because the Darth Maul was one of the first 4 Black Series figures they did back in 2013. So it's really nice that they've gone back to the drawing board. I mean, as far as the likeness, I mean, I guess it looks better. I think the soft goods looks incredible. I don't feel like it looks that different from the original release, though. Me personally. The Figuarts one that I showed a minute ago, that one's been, you know, the original version came out years ago now. It was probably like 2016 at this point. And that one is like way better than what this appears to be.
I was going to say, it's hard to look at Black Series after, like, we went backwards, you know, like after we talked about SHF and Hot Toys. You can't talk about Black Series after that.
You know, it's so interesting because for years, like it was, you know, those were the best, like the Figuarts, and to some extent, you know, they are superior, but back at like 2017, 2018, when Hasbro started doing like photoreal and like updating the articulation, then they went pinless for the articulation, like they became a lot better. And then it was harder to justify that difference. And that's kind of what surprises me, that this Maul doesn't look better than it does. It looks very similar to that first release, which is really odd. Like, why didn't they, like, why doesn't it look better than it does? And then the lightsaber, it looks like it's that really bulky one that came with that first figure, which probably isn't going to bother more people than like me and maybe 1 or 2 other people. But it's just one of those things that for me, you know, I notice it. I'm like,
it looks like the park tilts, right? They're so good.
Yeah. It does. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get Obi-Wan again, here he is. He's still got those horrible elbows. They don't really bend all that much. Qui-Gon, you know, they both look good. This is going to be a nice 3-pack, especially if you don't have any of these 3 figures already. It's going to be the way to go for sure. Box is really nice. Super Battle Droid, more prequel stuff. Love it. And yeah, so this is previously this came out with a Battle Droid with C-3PO's head on it. I did not buy that. But I may get this because it's just a standalone Super Battle Droid, which is nice to see. I don't know why they gave it a blue head, though. To me, that's a little weird.
Yeah, just reflection.
Oh yeah, and you get a little plug-in blast effect, which is fun. This to me is one of the more exciting things. So Commander Gree and Yoda are coming back to Black Series.
It's just cute.
It is. Like, yeah, it is. Like this, like they haven't done Yoda since they haven't done a prequels Yoda, basically, in Black Series. And this one looks really good. I love that he comes with the Jedi Council chair. I love that he has a soft goods robe. And the likeness on this one is like perfect. Like, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with the likeness. It's really, really good. If I could say one thing, it would probably be that his cloak looks a little bit too dark. A little bit too dark. That's about all I can nitpick on this one. But you get the lightsaber.
So cute.
It is interchangeable head. That's great.
Yeah.
And Commander Gree looks really cool too. This version of him looks really good. I like this. I might even say I like this better than his armor from the movie. Yeah, so that's all for Black Series. Retro Collection, they had already announced these, but now they were showing them a little more thoroughly. There's a Retro Collection pack that has 6 figures based on Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And I can already, now that I said that out loud, I feel like this can be one of those memes where it's like, oh yeah, they make 6 figures and then like they show the action figures. It's silly. Yeah, so this is you know, I mean, if you like retro collection, it's cool. I do like the cards on these. Like this is the nice Anakin card they did back in 2010 when the vintage collection started. General Grievous. I mean, these are fun selections. Jango Fett, Mace Windu, Padme, I mean, it's
Grievous looks adorable, you
he
know?
does. They said in the stream that instead of his shoulders hinging forward and back, they hinge outward, and I think that was the right choice for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, you know, because I am, you know, I do have to nitpick something. Like Anakin, I don't really find too much fault with. But when I look at like the Clone Trooper, for example, or even Django, maybe Django's like kind of the more obvious one. I feel like some of these don't necessarily look like Kenner. I mean, they do have more of a retro influence about them, but to me, this looks a little more modern than what Kenner would have done back in the 70s and 80s. And I know this whole retro collection, it's basically meant to say, hey, if Kenner was making prequel figures, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, what would they look like? And I feel like some of these maybe are a little off the mark. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. Like, I don't know that they would have. I guess they look almost a little bit too good is kind of maybe what I'm thinking. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that's what they were going for. But I feel like on some level, they just look a little bit better maybe than I would feel like Kenner would do. But who knows? Nobody really knows what Kenner would do, right? So it's all hypothetical anyway. All right, the vintage collection. X-Wing Pilot. They had previously pipelined this X-Wing Pilot 4-pack. And now we get to see what they look like. And when I saw this during the stream, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Because we knew these were coming, but we didn't know that two of them would be aliens, right? I thought that they were all just going to be different humans. And I think that's what everybody thought. But there's two aliens here. There's a Duros. And I forget what the other one is, but it's the same species as Luminara. So it is nice to see aliens here. These are fun. I'm going to pick this set up.
And these are Ahsoka pilots, right?
They said that the helmets are feature like deco inspired by the New Republic as seen in Ahsoka. Yeah.
And they still haven't given us a Carson Teva.
What's up with that? I don't get it. I mean, he's in everything, right? Like, what gives?
Yeah.
We got his helmet, but it's not the same thing.
One step closer, Paul. One step closer.
Oh boy.
Had a wind through my window.
Yeah, so that's a cool set. I was really happy to see that. Are the pipelines on here for TVC? I don't see them on here. Maybe they weren't in the press release. So I'll work on pulling those up. You know, actually, no. I know that Jason at Yakface is bound to have those on his page. So I'm going to just jump over there and steal those from you, Jason. I'm going to take those. All right, here they are. Let me go ahead and switch here. All right, so these are the pipelines for the vintage collection. Anakin Skywalker as seen in Ahsoka. I have a feeling they're just going to take that old body from a decade ago and give it a new head. I hope that's not what they do. I really hope that's not what they do, but I have a feeling that's probably what's going to happen. There's also a 4-pack of Shriek Hawk Mandalorians. So it's another one of those 4-packs. But this one has Mandalorians as seen in season 3 of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then a playset, a cool playset, the Armor Forge playset.
Oh, that'll be tempting.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with building out the Mandalorian for our toy shelves, and this will just be another piece to add in there. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be a fun one. Yeah, so that is, you know, they just said we're going to get updates on the vintage collection. They didn't say they were going to announce anything, but hey, there's some pipelines, which I guess is better than nothing. But yeah, I guess that's it. I don't see anything else here that we missed. Oh, there's a photo. There's a photo of the packaging for the Commander Green Yoda pack on there. It's cool. I hadn't seen that. Yeah, that covers the reveals for Hasbro Pulse today. Lots to collect. So out of everything you saw there, Yoko, what do you think you're going to be picking up?
Oh, out of everything, I don't know. I've been cutting back. I've been cutting back on my Black Series and TVC figures as I, go for more Hot Toys like we covered. But I am tempted by a couple of those. The Darth Maul. I don't have that 3-pack, or any of those in that 3-pack. So, like, if I was going to buy a Black Series, it'd probably be that one. Although Yoda, that cute little Yoda 2-pack is really tempting me too. But yeah, we'll have to see. I'm very curious. Like, are there theories? I'm sure there are theories. I just haven't seen them about what the HasLab is going to be. Or is that what you're talking about tomorrow?
There are there are ideas out there, but there's nothing confirmed yet until the actual product is announced. Some folks seem to think it's going to be the Canto Bight sail barge from The Last Jedi. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be that.
I was like, there's an audience for everything, but that's surprising. Yeah.
No, I think most people think it's either going to be the Cantina or possibly the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks want a Jawa Sandcrawler. But yeah, those are what the main guesses seem to be. I know a lot of people were also talking about the Marauder, the Heavy Marauder from the Bad Batch.
Oh yeah,
because we still haven't gotten all the figures in the vintage collection. Only Hunter.
Right. I've been wondering about that one. Since we haven't been getting them.
Yeah. So those are the ideas that are floating around, the guesses that are floating around currently.
I don't think I have a horse in this race this year, because all I wanted was the ghost, and I got that.
Yeah. That's. I don't know where I'm going to put the ghost, but
yeah, mine's going to go right in the middle of the floor behind me.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. But that's always future me's problem.
Exactly.
So just looking here in the comments, Maul looks great, but I hate that grinning face. Hey, Riley Bob, how's it going? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why did they go through the effort of making an all new brand new Darth Maul figure, but then they did that? Like, why? I don't understand. Marcus says I really like the Yoda and Green. Palpatine looks really cool. I love the spelling there. Enoch was working out during their stay at party. Maybe he was. Pico B1, I recently got rid of a lot of my Black Series, but kept the entire collection of SH Figuarts, so I think I need all of these.
Not a bad idea,
Not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they're re-releasing some of them, because maybe they'll re-release some of the other popular ones, like the Attack of the Clones Anakin or Padme, because those ones, they sell for like triple, quadruple what they initially went for these days. Mechanized, how's it going? Black Series Maul is very nice. Hope we get that in TVC. Getting everything but the Anakin. Yeah. I only collect OT, so easy pass for me on all these reveals. Cantina's what 90% of people think? Maybe. The HasLab is not original trilogy. Another easy pass for me. Don't forget the ghost packaging. Yeah, so the ghost packaging was showed in the stream. I don't think they sent me pictures of that yet. Once they send, maybe in time for tomorrow's stream, we'll be able to showcase those. But yeah, it looked really cool in the stream. The box obviously is ginormous, so it's kind of one of those things. I usually don't keep the boxes to like really big things like that, but for HasLabs, it's like I kind of do have to. So I don't know if I'm going to put that either.
Yeah, I want to incorporate that in somewhere.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best thing. I mean, because they are really cool display pieces, like any of those like giant like boxes. Well, cool. I I guess I'll just keep you till the end, Yoko, because I will be done in like 10 minutes.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, the vintage collection HasLab is delayed. That was it was supposed to be announced today what it was. And on Monday, Hasbro Pulse Instagram posted something that said, hey, we want to make this perfect, so we're going to hold it back a little bit, but it's going to be worth the wait. It's coming. Stay tuned. Hang in there. But it is delayed. So that's kind of where things are at right now. There's a lot of speculation as to, why it's delayed. And I'm sure we'll get really deep into this during tomorrow's stream, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what's going on, is that it got delayed. So it would have been really cool to have it announced today, because right in time for May the 4th, Star Wars Day, all that. But hey, that's the way things happen sometimes. All right, so I do want to show you guys. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I have a sneak preview for you guys that are with us tonight on my next video. So I do want to show that to you. This is the first time this has been shown. So essentially, I went to visit my family in Texas in March over spring break. And one of the goals that I had while I was there was, I had never made a video there. Like, I've made videos in other places that I've traveled to and at conventions and whatnot. But I wanted to do like feature like where I grew up, like my hometown, because I never done that. There's not that many videos on YouTube of that, because nobody knows where it is. So that was kind of the goal here, but also to feature some of like the fun stuff there that does tie into what we do here on Cantina Social Hour. The little bits, the little traces of it that exist there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a teaser sneak preview for the first time ever for this new video. So here it comes. All right, so there you have it. That'll be this month. I don't have an exact date quite yet, but once that video is finished, I will keep you guys updated through the socials. And the last thing that I want to remind you guys about is that tomorrow we have the May the 4th live stream. All right, so that's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm really excited about it. Like I said earlier, we were planning on talking about the HasLab and reacting to the HasLab, and that was going to be like the main part of this stream. But there's still plenty of Star Wars to talk about. There's still today's reveals to get into. Once again, there's going to be plenty, and maybe I'll have seen a bit of Tales of the Empire by tomorrow's stream. So yeah, I've got Chris from banthaschool.com, John Mika from the SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group. We got Tim from Bosk's Bounty. And it's going to be a great time. So I hope that you are able to be with us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. to hang out as we talk all things Star Wars and we celebrate May the 4th. So I will see you guys tomorrow for that stream. We'll be here talking about it, and I hope you'll be hanging out with us as well. All right. So Yoko, before we leave, is there tell us a little bit about what you do on YouTube, because you also have a channel, you have the socials and all that. You're always doing a lot of stuff. You're really busy. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. You can find me at Yoko McCann on Instagram and YouTube, but I guess on other channels probably more often than I do stuff on my own. I am part of the Boba Squadron over on Toying Around's channel. So if you guys want to talk more Bad Batch finale, that's Monday night. We'll break down the finale. So that's Monday night at, what time are we at? 7 o'clock Pacific time. With Paul, of course, who plays Carson Deva, and our friend Ernie gets to join us too. So we do that on Mondays, and then I do some other streams. I stream with Ernie the Fallen Fed on Wednesdays, and then the first Thursday of the month, like yesterday, on Toying Around as well with the Enablers groups. I do some separate content on my own channel as well. I'm finally playing Jedi Survivor, so I've been playing through that on Tuesday nights. And the Japan trip that came up earlier, I have a series of mini vlogs from my trip there too that you can find on my Instagram or YouTube Shorts. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and those are a lot of fun. Like, definitely check those out, you guys. So I do have a link to Yoko's YouTube down in the description. So please check that out and follow her on the socials that she just mentioned. And Yoko, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to doing this again sometime in the future.
Yes, let's do it. Hopefully my voice will be a little stronger.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, like last week and the week before that, when I'm here by myself, I'm just like talking. And then I'm at the end of the night, I'm like, ugh, I can't talk anymore. But it's been a lot of fun. And really appreciate you being here. And hang on for just a second, Yoko, when we sign off here. But my friends here in the chat that have been tuning in, watching us, hanging out with us, allowing me to torture you just a little bit. Thank you. Definitely appreciate you. Very grateful that you're spending your Friday evening here with us. Hope to see you tomorrow during tomorrow's May the 4th live stream, Star Wars Day. It'll be lots of fun, and looking forward to a good time. So thanks again. Next Friday, we will have Dan Larson from Toy Galaxy, Secret Galaxy, joining us here in the Cantina. So stay tuned for that as well. No matter where you're tuning in from out of the galaxy, thank you for tuning in to Cantina Social Hour. We will see you soon. Be well, be safe. May the Force be with you. Bye.